My name's Michelle. I work in the extension and education sector of the dairy industry. I met my husband in Canada in 1994. He was on a young farmer exchange at the time, which gave an opportunity for young Australian farmers to sort of see another part of the world. We met and got along fairly well. A few years later I ended up back in Australia, and we have our partners in a dairy farm operation in Australia, where we milk about 240 cows. I'm involved in training farmers and young people about how we can improve the genetic merit or the genetic ability of cows and dairy herds around Australia. For quite a while now, even back to the days when I'm involved in studying back in Canada, I had an interest in helping younger people sort of establish themselves in a career in agriculture. I felt quite passionately that agriculture opens the doors to lots of opportunities on the farm as well as off the farm. When I came to Australia, outside of the work things that I was doing, I also became involved in things like the National All Dairy Breeds Youth Camp, which was a program where young people between the ages of 16 and 20 got a taste for the dairy industry. They got a chance to work with animals, they got a chance to meet other people that were interested in dairy and help identify some of the careers that they potentially wanted to be involved in. At the same time, there's also another program called Cows Create Careers, which allows secondary school students to get involved in dairy and examine the possibilities that there are in the industry. And those two areas are sort of helping other people, showing them what's about, what's around. It's really sort of led me into this area where we're combining education, talking to other people, showing them other possibilities, as well as working in a technical area such as genetics in the dairy industry. In an average week, my week would involve spending time with groups of farmers, talking about genetics, talking about genetic improvement and how they can improve their herds and achieve a higher level of profit through genetics. But in having those presentations in front of farmers, it also means a fair bit of work behind the scenes in the office at the computer, writing materials, pulling together ideas, sorting them out into a way that farmers will respond well to them. The field of genetics is a field that dairy farmers have been looking at for quite a long time. Back hundreds of years ago, farmers were looking for the best female and the best male to be able to mate together to produce better progeny that'll perform well in their herds. And our aims in this year are the same as the aims as they were many years ago, that we're still trying to produce a better animal, an animal that suits our herd, that's going to be profitable, that's going to be easy to work with, that's going to last a long time and work well to improve our farm business. The tools that we've got to be able to do that this year are a lot different than what we've had, say, 100 years ago. With the advent of artificial insemination, half a century ago, that allowed us to use better bulls from farms that aren't next door to us anymore. We can use bulls that are across Australia and around the world, and so it's quite an international industry in that respect. We have more technology that we're able to look into now in terms of actually looking at the DNA of animals so that we can identify the best bulls and the best cows to be able to produce the best herds. But when it comes down to it, we're really still talking about the same idea of mating cow to bull and producing a calf that's going to be a calf that you're going to be able to work with for many years to come. The advantages to the job that I have at the moment is really about its flexibility. When I'm combining the responsibilities on farm with the responsibilities of a family, as well as an off-farm career, it's important to have that flexibility. I think some of the other perks or the other sort of advantages to working in this industry is that it is a profitable industry. It's an industry where you can actually achieve a level of salary that's quite comfortable and allows us to do sort of things that achieves the lifestyle that we actually want to achieve, and I think that's important, and we need to recognise that. But I think probably the best part that goes over all of it is that we get to work in an industry where we're producing milk that feeds children, which I think is really good, and there's some great people that are involved in the industry that I enjoy, and that makes going to work a very easy thing for me to do. My advice to people that want to get into the dairy industry is certainly to make sure that you continue to study. I think it's important to have post-secondary qualifications to pursue a career in the dairy industry. I also think it's important though to take up the opportunities that the dairy industry offers as a young person in terms of Cows Create Careers, in terms of the National All Dairy Breeds Youth Camp. in terms of the work experience that farmers are often very willing to give in order to get a taste for the areas of dairy industry that you're really keen on to be able to progress that further. The dairy industry is full of people that are really passionate. We've got cows that are fantastic to work with, we've got a beautiful environment, and we've got a progressive industry that is a global industry, and I think it's a fantastic one for people to get involved in.